The shoe was just lying on the beach, blue and white, men's size 12. A 12-year-old girl picked it up on a quiet afternoon in British Columbia, August 20th, 2007. She opened the sock inside and found a human foot. 6 days later, another foot washed ashore. Different island, different shoe, same terrible discovery. But here's what made investigators stop cold. Both feet were right feet. Two different people. No bodies anywhere. Over the next 17 years, more than 21 human feet would appear on the coastlines of British Columbia and Washington state. All still in their shoes. All separated from bodies that were never found. What was happening in the Salish Sea? The Salish Sea isn't one body of water. It's a network of straits and sounds stretching nearly 500 miles from Olympia, Washington, up to British Columbia's remote islands. The water is cold. The currents are unpredictable. And for centuries, the ocean has kept its secrets. That first foot belonged to someone, a real person with a name, with people who missed him. DNA analysis would eventually reveal he was a man from Vancouver who had been missing since 2004. He'd suffered from depression. His family had spent 3 years wondering what happened to him. The second foot, found on Gabriola Island, belonged to another man entirely. Then a third appeared in February 2008 on Valdez Island. A fourth on Kirkland Island in May. Local police had never seen anything like it. Detective Gary Cox told reporters at the time that finding 2 feet was 1,000,000 to 1 odds. Finding 3 was unprecedented. Finding 4 was impossible to explain. The British Columbia Coroner's Service opened investigations. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police deployed resources across multiple islands. Tips flooded in from the public, ranging from helpful to horrifying. Was there a serial killer targeting people in the Pacific Northwest? Were these the victims of organized crime? Rumors spread of human trafficking, plane crashes, even the 2004 tsunami washing bodies across the Pacific Ocean. But none of the early theories could explain one crucial detail. All the feet were still in their shoes. As investigators examined the growing collection of feet, a strange pattern emerged. The shoes weren't old leather boots or sandals. They were modern athletic sneakers. Nike, Adidas, New Balance. In June 2008, a 5th foot surfaced near Westham Island. A DNA match confirmed something remarkable. This left foot and the right foot found months earlier on Valdez Island belonged to the same person. The feet had traveled to different islands, miles apart. By the end of 2008, 7 feet had been documented. 1 belonged to a woman. The coroners had determined her right foot, found in May on Kirkland Island, matched a left foot found in November in Richmond. She was wearing New Balance sneakers from 1999. The question haunting investigators wasn't just who these people were. It was why their feet kept washing ashore while the rest of them stayed hidden. The coroner's service made one thing clear from the start. There were no cut marks on any of the bones. This wasn't the work of a killer who separated the feet deliberately. The feet had detached naturally. Forensic scientist Gail Anderson from Simon Fraser University had been conducting research that year on how bodies decompose in water. She'd been dropping pig carcasses into the Strait of Georgia, the same waters where feet were appearing, to study what happens when flesh meets ocean. Her findings were disturbing. Sea creatures, particularly crabs, shrimp, and deep-dwelling fish, could strip a body to the skeleton in under 4 days. And they worked systematically, targeting the softest tissue first. Arthropods will skeletonize and disarticulate a body quite quickly depending on oceanic conditions, Anderson explained. The ankle, it turns out, is one of the weakest connection points on the human body. Unlike the hip, which is a solid ball-and-socket joint, ankles are held together mostly by soft connective tissue, ligaments, cartilage, easy targets for hungry scavengers. But there was still one piece missing from the puzzle. Bodies sink. That's basic physics. So if the feet were being separated on the ocean floor, how were they floating back up? The answer came from oceanographer Parker McCready at the University of Washington. He'd built a computer simulation called LiveOcean that models the tides, currents, and conditions of the entire Salish Sea in real time. McCready discovered that the Salish Sea is essentially a trap. Its complex geography funnels water and debris inward rather than pushing it out to the Pacific. The prevailing westerly winds compound this effect, carrying floating objects toward the shoreline instead of away. And modern sneakers, it turned out, were perfectly designed to float. Since the late 1990s, athletic shoes have been manufactured with lightweight foam soles and air pockets. These aren't just for comfort. They make the shoes buoyant. Where an old leather boot would stay submerged, a modern Nike running shoe would rise to the surface like a cork. You see a lot of folks wearing sneakers at the beach in the Pacific Northwest, McCready noted. Taken together, all these factors, plus the cold, deep waters and healthy scavenger populations, make the Salish the ideal foot magnet. The feet weren't being dumped on beaches. They were being delivered by the ocean itself. With the science explained, investigators turned to the harder question: who were these people? DNA analysis proved painstaking but effective. Most of the feet were eventually matched to individuals reported missing. Many had been gone for years, some for decades. One foot, found in 2011 in a hiking boot, belonged to a fisherman who had been missing since 1987. 24 years at sea before part of him finally came home. In the United States, a pair of feet was traced to a woman who had jumped from a bridge. Her death was a suicide. So were many of the others. The most recent identification came in 2019, when a boot washed ashore on Jedediah Island in Everett, Washington. Inside was the foot of Antonio Neal, a 22-year-old from Everett who had disappeared on December 12, 2016. He had struggled with addiction, relapsed that fall, and vanished after staying on a friend's couch. His mother, Jenny Dobozinski, had spent 3 years searching for answers. "We were best friends," she told reporters. "I miss his laugh, his comfort, his voice. I miss everything about Antonio." Today, the British Columbia Coroner's Service maintains a map marked with every discovery. 21 feet confirmed, at least 15 identified. Foul play ruled out in every single case. The explanations vary. Suicides, accidental drownings, people lost to the water who were never seen again until a piece of them returned. There is nothing suspicious in any of them, Coroner's Service spokeswoman Barb McClintock told NBC News. It's just another phenomenon that's interesting about our coast and the Pacific Northwest. But the discoveries haven't stopped. A foot appeared in 2023 at Gonzales Beach in Victoria. Another investigation opened. Another family waiting for answers. The phenomenon has inspired hoaxes. Pranksters have stuffed shoes with chicken bones and animal paws, leaving them on beaches to frighten tourists. One fake foot in 2008 contained a skeletonized dog paw wrapped in seaweed. The RCMP was not amused. It has also inspired fiction, a Norwegian crime novel, a Douglas Preston thriller, episodes of Bones and Rizzoli and Isles. The mystery captured something in the public imagination, the idea that the ocean keeps returning the dead, one piece at a time. For the families, there's little mystery left, just grief and the strange comfort of finally knowing. Laura Yazejian, a forensic anthropologist with the Coroner's Service, has spent years working these cases. She describes the identification process as both hard and rewarding. Great feeling, fantastic feeling, emotional, yes. Hard, yes. To this day, not every foot has been matched to a name. Somewhere, there are families still waiting, still wondering if the next shoe that washes ashore might finally bring them closure. The Salish Sea keeps its own timeline, and the dead arrive when the currents allow.